Alright boys and girls, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be installing the Racingline Induction Kit on my Polo GTI. So we've got the stock airbox in at the moment. Pulled over into a nice quiet location to get this install done because it's manic where I live. So yeah, let's hope I don't mess this up because otherwise I'm going to be driving home with no airbox. But yeah, so obviously, as you can see, stock airbox in. Our goal is to take that out and put the Racingline Induction Kit in. So I'll set up the camera there and we'll get to work installing. Right, so first things first, you want to get yourself a nice pair of pliers that can take off these awful shitty clips that they have on from stock. You want some torque sets to get the bolts and a nice little screwdriver that you can put a new head in. So first things first, what you want to do is take off this pipe here. This is the biggest bitch of them all to get off. Once you've got it off, it's easy. So yeah, once you've got it off, it's pretty simple. So what you want to do is get yourself one of these and then grab it around. I've already taken them off prior because it was an absolute nightmare. But it basically hooks. Oh, what side? This side hooks under there and that side hooks around there. And you just squeeze them together. They're too hard to do with your hands. You just squeeze them together and then they'll be there. You just push them back. And the same with this one back here. This is probably the hardest one. You want to, I don't know if you can see that, it's a bit awkward. But there's a clip there. And you want to squeeze that back over that back pipe there, down into the turbo. And then once you've done that, this pipe should just, hold on, it's difficult with one hand, come off. Just give it a little wiggle. Boom. And that's the little bitch pipe off. After that, you'll probably have a clip down there. I've pushed mine and hid it away. It's down here. There, that clip there that's moving. That'll be in the airbox. You just want to push the top down, pull it out, pop it away, just push it, hide it somewhere because I don't think it does anything. Once that clips out, your next goal is to pull this tube out that leads into the engine. No idea what it does, but you basically want to disconnect this. Just give it a nice firm tug. Ow, my fucking hand. And then kind of make sure it's not falling down into the engine because you want to be able to pull it off later completely to swap it with a longer one. Next thing to do is to pull this entire airbox off. It's basically on 4 rubber grommets in the engine bay. So you want to just give it a nice strong yank and it'll pull off, and then make sure you pull it down first to disconnect it from this. So I'll put the camera up and we'll get that done. So yeah, you just want to kind of get 2 hands on it. It's probably easier to pull it this side first. You just did the rubber grommets pop out, and then you want to kind of wiggle it about, and then once it's fully disconnected, you'll see down here, this is connected. You just want to, it's a bit of a bitch. Don't be afraid to give it a bit of a tug. Just don't go breaking anything. And then once, oh, having a bit of a nightmare as well. There you go, that's off. So yeah, this is rubberized on the inside. So it will basically kind of grab onto this. So you just want to kind of give it a little tug and it'll come straight off. Now that airbox is out of the way, big old ugly thing, you basically want to reach down under here and you see that pipe we disconnected. It leads into the engine. I don't know if you can see that. Just down there. So you want to reach under here and just give it a bit of a pull and it'll come straight off. Final part before we start assembling, you want to get yourself the torque head. Not sure what size it is, sorry. And then you'll see down here, where I'm pointing, I don't know if you can see that, there's a bolt there. And a bolt there. And you want to undo both these bolts, and then you can pull this out. Just make sure to keep the bolts though, because they're going to be used in the Racingline part. Yeah, so once them bolts have been taken out, just put them somewhere safe, and then this thing will just pull out towards you and up. So mine have this little pipe here. Now everything's out, the first thing you want to do is get your longer Racingline tube, and you want to install this back into the engine while you have the room. So obviously where you pulled the last pipe out, you just want to slot this back in there. Just make sure you push quite hard because obviously you don't want to leak. You can sort of bend the tube sideways and then push it. That's what I do. Kind of bend it and then push up behind it, and it should fit on nicely. And then what you want to do is kind of just keep this out of the way, just fold over there. So you want to slot it under. There we go. Then it just slots back in. I usually put the pipe underneath this, so actually you don't want to slot it under, you want to slot it over just to hide the pipe so it goes underneath. And then once that's in, get your little bolts from the previous bit, make sure that tube's out of the way. And then you want to screw them bolts back in and that part's installed. All right, now that part's in nice and firm, just give it a little, make sure that's in nice and secure. You're going to grab your little holder, and then that slots over the old slots, the old rubberised grommet bits. Just be careful of this pipe here when you're putting this one in. Just sort of push it down firmly, and then it should click like that. And then boom, that's in. Make sure this pipe's tucked underneath. And then we'll move on to putting the big old cannon on. Next, you want to grab the big old cannon of an air filter. And this is just going to slot in there. Push it all the way in, obviously. I can't really do it with one hand because it's quite tight. And then once that's in, it should sit in these arms nicely. And then we'll put the final tube on and then start tightening. Right, so now that big old fucking cannon air filter's in, you want to take the final tube, make sure all the clips are over it before you put it in. Otherwise, you can't clip it. And then you basically just want to line that up there. Make sure this little tube here is pointing this way, down. And then line that up and squeeze them both over as well. So I'll get that done now. Right, so now this is on. All of this is tightened. Well, it's not tightened yet. These clips are still loose, but you want the clips in front of the hooks. So you see there's hooks there. You want the clips in front because rubber is going to go over that. And then once this is down, pushed in, we'll come around, we'll tighten all these up. But you want to take that long tube that you've been hiding away, and you want to connect it straight to there and push it on nice and firm. So just work it on, and then you can tuck it down between that gap, sort of hides it away, and then it just comes down under into the engine. And then you want to go around, tighten all these clips, not too tight, but you want them tight where they're not going to come loose. And then once you've done that, it's basically installed. Right, so all that done, all of this tightened up, nice and firm. Give it a little pull. You basically, it comes with little rubber clips. You just want to hook them round, and then all the way around, and then hook it on there, and it sort of seals it, makes it look a bit nicer. So we'll grab these from my little toolkit on the floor. You want to take the longer one, put it around the front, obviously. This one. We'll take that, hook it around there, make sure the writing's on the inside, so it looks a bit nicer. Hook it around there, and then you want to pull it nice and tight around there, and then it just hooks on. And what you can do is sort of wiggle the rubber so it looks a little cleaner. We'll just we'll run with that for now. Grab the smaller one, make sure the writing's on the inside. Hook round, watch out for the little pipe. Oh, one hand is a bitch. Oh my god. No, it missed it. Alright, well, we'll get that done. There we go. First little performance mod for the Polo GTI. Got the Racingline Induction Kit installed. Engine bay's not looking as cluttered now, so, and it sounds a little bit nicer. That noise never gets old, so yeah. Guess next up's the AirTech intercooler, and then whatever other content I think of in the meantime. But you know, thanks for sticking around. If you've made it this far, a subscribe would be handy, and I'll catch you in the next one.